So yeah, that's how I killed him. Hi everyone.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Welcome to episode 2 of the JJ Film
Oh wait, is
Podcast.
this recording? Fuck. Okay.
Oh, oops. You know what we need? I've decided we need something to really sell this.
Okay.
You know those really shitty YouTuber intro, like not where it's like a 3D background and it's their logo spinning while a shitty trap song plays in the background.
Yeah, I know exactly that kind of shitty YouTube intro.
We should get one of those.
Yeah, we totally should. I think you can probably do one of these like in 5 minutes on Flash, and then get a rip off trap song. I'm sure we'd be good.
God, I hate those
Oh,
fucking
man.
intros so much.
All right.
So, how have you been lately?
I've been great. I've been seeing your mom a lot. She's been coming to my house. Yeah, she visited me a lot in November. And speaking of November, it was November 2019. And
Oh,
you know what
yes, it
November
was.
2019 means? November 2019 was the year that Blade Runner took place.
It yes, November the year.
Yeah, the year, yeah.
Yeah,
November.
I was gonna talk about that. So I saw this film, Blade Runner. I don't know if you've
Oh,
heard of
okay.
it.
And he's kind of obscure director.
It
And he
is
did a
kind
lot
of niche.
indie stuff.
I swear, it's like one of your favorite movies, isn't it? Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, when people ask me what's my favorite movie ever, I usually kind of cite that one and some.
Because I remember I watched that thing where you talked about, you were like Blade Runner, Bicycle Thieves, Fargo.
Oh yeah. That
Um,
was a while back. Yeah, I guess I still cite Bicycle Thieves as well. Fargo's pretty cool, but I don't know about the other ones to be honest. But yeah. The Blade Runner is definitely still up there.
I saw Frozen 2 as well, so let's talk about that.
Oh, what?
No,
You saw wait, what? Wait, did you actually?
yeah, I liked it.
I had a lot of mix. So wait. So Elsa dies, right? No, I'm kidding.
You lying sack of shit. You told me she died, and she fucking doesn't. I was to be honest, when you wrote me and you're like Elsa dies, I was genuinely thinking like, is he telling the truth or is he just fucking with me? Because knowing you, I wouldn't put it past you to actually spoil Frozen 2 with me just to piss
I
me
would
off.
have gladly spoiled it if I had seen it, but I really can't care enough to actually see it, so therefore I can't spoil
I'm a
it.
level with you. I actually liked it a lot. I thought it was
Oh,
really
that's cool.
good.
Okay, that's good. Well, I should definitely see it. I'm definitely gonna watch it. But
The animation was incredible.
okay.
What was good about it, actually, what I respected for it was it doesn't piggyback on the first one too much. It's not like, ooh, look at us, we're doing Frozen, but again, like
Yeah.
there's only two major references to Frozen 1, and it's kind of more as a joke, if anything.
Huh. That's
Like
interesting. Actually, I wouldn't have thought that.
it's kind of meta about it. It was pretty funny. Anyway, but Blade Runner,
I've
because
heard.
oh,
Well,
sorry.
I was just gonna say I've just seen a lot of memes about Elsa being really hot.
So Blade Runner,
Yeah. So I think it would probably be good if you kicked this off because you just saw it. You
Yeah.
haven't even told me what you thought.
So I just saw Blade Runner for the first time last week. I had never seen it before, and I've really wanted to for a while. So I liked it. I think it needed a little bit of time to sit for me because it was a very different movie from what I was expecting.
Yeah.
I knew it was a slow-paced movie, but I wasn't expecting it to be that slow-paced.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's not only slow paced, also very weirdly paced. Like it's not. There's not
Certainly.
the normal sort of like sort of hero's journey, kind of like go up to the climax, whole kind of thing, catharsis. Definitely don't have that in there.
So I think it was also had something to do with the fact that I saw the final cut, which I think has a lot more of those kind of just like taking
Okay, wait. So
time to soak
remind
it
me
all
which
in.
one. So does the final cut have like the unicorn and the last part where they go into the woods and shit, or?
No, okay, so Final Cut has the entirety of the unicorn thing, and it doesn't have the woods part. I think
Okay.
the woods part was only in the theatrical cut. I think Ridley Scott didn't. I could be wrong about this, but I'm pretty sure Ridley Scott didn't want that because he thought it would mess with the ambiguity of the film. And
Yeah.
I liked that it ended on them like closing the elevator doors and then
That's
just
definitely the
leaving.
better ending. Weirdly enough, I feel like I think the Force ending is on more than just the theatrical cut because I've seen it quite a few times.
Okay.
But did you know that the Force ending was actually rushes from The Shining?
Wait, what from The Shining?
It's actually The Shining by Kubrick.
Yes, I know The Shining by Kubrick, Jules.
Yeah, you look confused. So he for the arrival at the hotel. So Kubrick shot like literally hundreds of shots of the car, driving in the woods and in the
Oh
mountains.
yeah.
For the whole intro, and there were like hours long of rushes that weren't used, and so Ridley Scott was just like, "Yo, can we use some of your shit for our ending?" And so that's actually from The Shining.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's kind of neat, actually. Yeah, because I guess it would have been around the same time frame. That's super
a little bit
neat.
later, yeah, but more or less.
Yeah.
And they knew each other, so.
So yeah, what was interesting was it's this week actually. I was in school. We had the week off to film school projects, but I just went into school one day to take care of a few things. And I just kind of walked in on a class, and they were watching Blade Runner as well, it was such convenient time. So they were watching the director's cut, and it was right at the end where it also has the ending of them just closing the doors and then the credits roll. There's no forest scene.
And so hold on, remind me, does the final cut? Wait, so you watched the final cut, right?
Yes.
So does that one have the voiceovers or not?
No.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I don't know. I still haven't really decided which one I prefer, but I think I do prefer it without the voiceovers.
I've heard the voiceovers kind of take away from it.
It actually, like, the voiceovers make it less of like a completely crazy out there kind of film, which is ultimately what makes it really cool. But the voiceovers also do give it more of that hard-boiled detective kind of noir vibe, which is pretty nice.
Yeah, I guess it's just a matter of because I was actually kind of torn because I borrowed when I got the DVD. I borrowed it from a friend of mine who basically his dad owns pretty much every cut of Blade Runner on DVD.
Oh, that's cool.
Well, here's the thing. What's kind of crazy about it was that I've been to this guy's house before, and he has what can only be described as a Blade Runner shrine.
What? This guy.
He's got every cut on DVD, and he's got posters of it fucking everywhere in just like this one little side room. It's beautiful. Man. It's really so cool, actually.
That's awesome.
But yeah, it's pretty crazy. So I borrowed it from him, and I remember thinking, I was like, should I ask for a specific cut? And I was wondering, like, what's better, watching the theatrical release and experiencing it the way people did when it actually came out, or going for the director's original vision. I ultimately decided on the latter.
Yeah, I think it's definitely the better idea to watch the final cut first. Even though I think it's definitely interesting to see all of them, but
definitely. So the more I've thought about it, the more I liked. I think it was definitely, like I said, I hadn't realized that it was going to be that slow paced, but once I had kind of realized that and accepted it, I ended up liking the movie a lot more, like in the second half.
It's interesting because that's also actually even though I adored it even on my first viewing of it, it's actually the reaction I had on my first viewing of it as well, where I was like, you know what, this was really weird. And it's the kind of film you don't really talk about. You just kind of where you're like, okay, well, I'm gonna go to bed now, and you just kind of ponder it and like dream.
I get what you
mean. That's definitely what happened to me. It's kind of the same with Apocalypse Now, actually. I guess you need time to think about that movie. Wait, did you see that? I forget.
I still have to see it. I feel.
Oh man! Wait, I thought you got the new release. I thought you managed to see the new release.
No, it was. I think it was showing right after I went on vacation.
Oh, okay.
I want to see. So wait, what was the cut that you saw when you first watched it?
The first cut I saw. That's a good question. I think I probably saw the final cut as the first one, right. And then I saw the one one that they did after the theatrical cut, where they had the forest ending and the voiceovers and stuff, and then I saw the theatrical cut.
I had no idea that Daryl Hannah was in it, which was super weird seeing her in. Yeah, because she's Pris.
Yeah, no, she's great in it. Yeah. I think Sean Young's really cool in that. But I mean, Sean Young's great, but for me, the major. I mean, obviously Harrison Ford's cool, but the major insane star in that is Rutger Hauer. I mean,
Rutger Hauer, so cool. Holy shit!
It's really crazy, dude. That monologue at the end still gave me shivers.
That monologue's incredible, because that was the main thing I had heard about it. There's a Patton Oswalt bit where he talks about how he only remembers nerd shit and not like infant CPR classes that he's taken, and he goes like, "That's the thing. My daughter's going to be dying in front of me, and all I can do is recite Rutger Hauer's speech at the end of Blade Runner."
Oh no! Well, I mean, you know what? That's not. I don't know. That's pretty fitting. You know, tears and rain and stuff. That's pretty.
Yeah, he says, he goes like, "Look, I know you're dying and everything, but I've seen things you people wouldn't believe. Attack ships off the shoulder of Orion, and she's dead. Well."
Oh no!
Yeah, but
it's
an incredible. It's an incredible scene. Let me ask you something, because you've seen it more times than me. What's up with so that final fight scene kind of confused me, because he, up until that point, he had been a very like cool and collected character, and I guess as he's starting to die, he seems way more erratic in that whole thing. Like he's freaking out, and he's doing the thing with the nail in his hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's this sort of like whole like despair of like pre-death sort of like
right.
He's kind of freaking out, I guess. And I think he's also freaking out during the whole first part of the film, but he just manages to keep his cool in front of everyone else. And when it comes to like the whole true life and death situation, that's when he actually freaks out. And then there's a whole like Jesus imagery and stuff with the nail.
Oh.
And then I guess he manages to come to. Can you say come to peace? Fuck, I haven't spoken English in like a week. Be in peace with himself. How do you say that?
Come to shit. No, I don't know.
Well, I'm sure our beloved spectators will know exactly what we mean. But...
All 10 of them, yeah.
Dude, I think you're optimistic when you're saying 10.
Wait, now, shit, the more I think about this, the more come to peace with him.
Come to terms.
Yeah, I was thinking about, I was like, is that right? Maybe.
Yeah. No, come to terms is what it is.
That sounds right.
I think. Anyway, yeah, but what's really actually, I mean, one of the things that is sort of weird about the movie for me is actually the way it's told. But, well, I mean, I mentioned this earlier, like it's narrated in a really peculiar way.
Right.
And I mean, that's partly because it's based on a book, but also because there was really weird stuff that happened during the editing. And I just wanted to mention this because I found this really cool. You know the fight scene with God, I can't believe I don't remember his name. What's the android that gets killed? I think he gets killed first. It's the other guy. Basically. Leon, that's the one. Thanks. During his fight with Leon, right before Leon gets killed.
Yeah.
That I've always found that fight kind of weirdly edited. Like I don't know what was up with it. And actually, what I found out is that the master shot for the fight was like a crazy like fight from the ground, looking up on them fighting, and then in the background there was like a blimp with a newscast dude like commenting on a boxing fight, as if it was commenting on like their fight.
That's kind of
like
cool.
The master shot. It was like the craziest shot, and they fucking lost it because they burned it in the editing room, and they didn't have the rushes,
that's so really cool.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to point, that reminds me that you bring that the whole like blimp thing. One thing that I could not stop thinking about when I was watching the movie is, what is that Asian woman doing now? The one that's on all the, like, because that's...
She's probably very happy.
She's like, because that image of her on the side of the building is so iconic and so memorable, but I haven't seen her anywhere else. Like, I'm curious if, like, what does she end up doing?
Is they just like called up like random Asian people who barely spoke English. They just like filmed them eating shit, and then they left. And then they just added that in the movie.
Here, just eat some stuff.
Yeah, but I find those images so insane as well. I think they're so cool.
Yeah, I'm just really curious about like, because she's not eating anything, and she's just in those advertisements, and they seem to use her a lot from what I was gathering.
She eats something in the beginning. I think she eats like a thing.
Doesn't she drink like a soda or something?
Yeah, well, she does multiple things.
She does, yeah. Who is that actress? I wonder what she's doing now.
You know, that's a really good question. But I have a book on. Actually, it's right behind me. So technically, I could like check and get back to you on that. But I think it's probably take too long if I look it up right now.
Yeah, but yeah, man, Ridley Scott, he really. It's interesting because now I have to compare Blade Runner with Alien in terms of like sci-fi movies that he directed, and it's really oh man, I saw
you know what's a funny thing that's actually like a physical connection between those two films.
what?
So you know how in Blade Runner there's like a brief shot of when they first go up with the police glider. The spinner is what it's called, obviously. And the screen in the spinner says purge, and it's like blinking and it says purge.
Oh yeah.
That image is actually taken from Alien.
Is it a shot from Alien, or is that
no? That same effect was used in Alien as well.
Oh,
at one point, at the very beginning when they get woken up by the distress call. I think or no, you know what? Maybe it's not at that point, but at one point there's a screen that says purge basically.
Okay,
that's visuals from Alien. I don't know.
I also saw I forget if I told you about this, but I saw earlier this year I saw a 40th anniversary screening of Alien like in a cinema, and holy shit, like you really need to see terrifying. Like. No, yeah, seeing that movie in a cinema is a whole different experience from watching it on your desktop. I just really came to appreciate the amount of set design that goes into that when they're on the planet and shit and all the hallways. Like, my God, like that must have taken forever.
It's insane. No, that scene at the end where she's with the flamethrower and you feel like it's like anywhere and he ends up never actually showing up. That's like the craziest scene.
Yeah, what I hadn't realized was I didn't know that there was like also kind of like a director's cut of Alien with certain scenes that were cut out. What I had no idea about was, so you remember the scene where I think it's Dallas who's in the vents. Yeah, it's Dallas. And he like, he's fine. They're like, oh shit, it's right on top of you. And then, it kind of jumps out. Gets screwed over. So I didn't know that there's a later scene in that movie where Ripley actually comes across Dallas and they're like turning him into one of the eggs.
Oh man, really? I don't remember that. Well, I haven't seen it in a while, but
well, this wasn't in the cut that I watched. I only found this later.
Okay.
So she's just exploring the ship. I think this is by the point where everyone else is dead. Oh shit, spoilers to a 40-year-old movie.
Yeah, everyone dies.
Yeah. But Ripley she like finds this desolate part of the ship, and there's this area where Dallas is just being turned into like one of the fucking eggs, and he's like kill me, and she like torches him with the flamethrower. It's so fucked up. Yeah,
horrible.
No, it's
wait. Do you find it visually? Or
no,
hear about it?
It's no, it's there. Like it's in director's cuts of Alien. Yeah, man, it's super.
I'll find it later.
Yeah, find it later. But it's crazy. But so seeing it just in front of you, I've been doing that a lot lately. Just doing cinema screenings of films. I did that with Clockwork Orange this year, which was amazing.
Yeah, I just saw Lolita actually in a cinema yesterday.
No shit, I was actually considering watching Lolita today. I might actually do that when this is over.
You should watch it. It's pretty crazy.
I really want to. But yeah, no, see Alien just on. If you have a chance to see it in a cinema, you absolutely should.
Yeah, I think I really should. And also, the first time I saw it, it was like I'm definitely not gonna say I was disappointed because it was still like an amazing movie. But I was very hyped up for it, and everyone was saying like it's gonna be the most terrifying experience of your life. And I wasn't super scared. Like there was just that really tense ass scene that I was talking about earlier, and obviously the alien bursting out and stuff.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, I don't know. I definitely have to see it again. I
will say this. This sounds like such a douchey thing to say, but I will say this. Not a lot of horror movies have actually proper scared me in terms of like I'm thinking about it like before I go to sleep. Or I'm like, oh fuck. The only
really?
I think
that's never happened to you.
No, well, I will say this. The only movie where I can say it notably did that to me, where I was laying awake at night like, holy shit, Rosemary's Baby. Holy shit. Yeah, that movie scared the fuck out of me.
I'm literally going to go see that in the cinema like next week.
No way! Yeah. That movie's like, here. Do you know how it ends?
No.
Okay, I won't spoil it for you. But let me just say that I knew what the twist was going in, and the ending still scared the shit out of me.
Oh,
like
shit.
That's how crazy. Oh my god, you'll love it. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and I'm
loved
very
Rosemary's
freaked
Baby.
out by horror movies as well, so this is not a good sign.
No. I still am like to a certain extent, but not Rosemary's Baby definitely was one of those movies where I was like thinking about it afterwards. I think less scared, but more like shook. Seven did that with me as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
Where I was just like,
Yeah,
oh, jeez, that's so fucked up. Like after it was over.
Well, yeah, I mean, in a different way, I guess.
Yeah.
The Deer Hunter also did that for me.
Oh, I still need to see the Deer Hunter.
Oh yeah, it's gonna scar you to life.
Yeah, but no, Alien didn't really do that, and Alien's not so much either because that movie's way more of an action movie than a horror movie.
Uh-huh.
It's like it's not a horror movie at all. Come to think about it. And I think it's still
really? You wouldn't say Alien's a horror movie?
No, because here's the thing.
I'm not sure about horror movie, but it's definitely a thriller. Like there's fucking tense ass points in there. Like
I guess, but it's kind of treated much more. Because while the aliens definitely do have the advantage, it feels like they feel a lot less helpless in Aliens than they do in Alien.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Aliens?
Yeah.
Oh, my apologies. I thought you were still talking about Aliens.
Oh, shit, I'm sorry, man.
Okay, yeah, I was like, what? Aliens are a horror movie? I mean, it's still
No. The first Alien is definitely a horror movie. Aliens with an S.
Ah, okay, I haven't seen that, yeah.
You haven't seen Aliens?
I will cut you, Jack. Jesus Christ.
I like to say that I'm not that guy, like you haven't seen this movie guy, but I am absolutely that guy.
You're like the most that guy of anyone I know, man. Jesus. But yeah, no, I haven't seen it. Well, okay, so it's like, would you say it's as much like an action movie as like Prometheus is, or?
No, well, I haven't seen Prometheus, so.
Oh, okay.
It's very. Fuck, it's hard to describe actually. It's still good, don't get me wrong. Like it's a very good movie, but I think overall tone-wise, the first Alien, the first one is much better than the second one. Like it feels it's much more atmospheric than the second one, which is interesting cuz they introduce more characters, they make it more, and I will say to a certain extent you get around the same level of attachment with the crew there that you do with the crew in the first one. And then Ripley's got this whole motherhood thing with Newt, the little girl in it.
Yeah.
So it's got its own charms that it brings.
I guess the only scene of that I've seen is the one where she takes out like that fucking robot armor.
Yeah, get away from her, you bitch!
You bitch! Yeah,
I love that scene.
Yeah.
It's still very, very good, and it's kind of interesting that they switched from Ridley Scott to James Cameron with that one instead.
Yeah, do you know why they did that? I actually don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I think because Ridley Scott didn't write the script for Alien. Maybe they just realized that when they were doing a more action-oriented script, it would make more sense to do it with a more action-oriented director like Cameron.
Yeah. Oh yeah, fuck yeah! It's the guy who wrote the script for Alien is the guy who worked on that John Carpenter one as well, right? Dark Star, right?
Oh, I wouldn't know. Maybe.
I think I think that's what it is. He worked. You know, the story is actually the guy. I don't remember his name, but the guy who wrote the script for Dark Star was John Carpenter. Have you seen Dark Star?
I haven't.
It's so there's a whole part where there's an alien on the ship, but it's like a comical alien, so it's like a big balloon with feet, basically. And there's a whole sequence which takes up like a very large part of the movie, where it's this one dude like tracking down the alien, trying to kill it because it's being a nuisance. And the guy who wrote the script for Dark Star and who wrote that scene was like, you know what, this is comical, but we could definitely make it scary. And so he went on and he wrote Alien.
Oh, nice.
Which is basically exactly the same pitch, just like full feature length and fucking terrifying.
That's great. So I want to talk about the new Terminator movie, but because of Cameron, but I haven't actually seen it. Oops.
Oh yeah, I haven't seen it either.
Okay,
the last one I saw was Genesis.
I didn't see Genesis. Okay, so I actually haven't seen anything past 3, which is a shame because I love Terminator 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time. 1 isn't too far off. 3 sucks, but the dude.
I think I've seen 3.
Oh my god, you are not missing out. No, oh my god.
Wait, what happens in the third one again?
Third one is the female Terminator. That's Kristana Loken's one.
Oh, that's the one.
Yeah, what I will say about 3 is that it almost, not quite, but it comes very close to that, like, so bad it's good category, because that's the one where Arnold goes, talk to the hand.
Oh, what the fuck? Jesus Christ. Man, it's really weird to go from, like, movie as cool as Terminator 2 to like,
talk to the hand.
Shitty as Terminator 3. Yeah, to talk to the hand. Jesus.
Well, I will say, that's true. And, well, now that I have a VPN that can bypass Netflix, I can get all of the Terminator movies, and I'd like to do a marathon of them all at some point. I have which is a shame, because I have 2 other marathons planned that I have not started yet. There's the Studio Ghibli one and the Tarantino one that I want to do.
Okay. I still haven't seen Jackie Brown. I have to do that. It's the only one. I haven't seen Death Proof either. But
both of which are regarded as his 2 worst movies. So, all right.
Really? No, Jackie Brown's not regarded as worst movie.
Well, it's kind of seen as one of the lesser ones. I like it, but it's not really. The problem with Jackie Brown is it kind of doesn't feel as if he's trying anything new or unique with it, the same way he did with Reservoir Dogs and Pulp Fiction.
Oh, okay. But Jackie Brown's pretty early, isn't it?
Yeah. It's his 3rd film, so it's after Pulp Fiction and before Kill Bill. If that gives you a sense of things.
Yeah. I've met quite a few people who actually have Jackie Brown in like their top 2 or 3 Tarantinos. Actually,
that's interesting. Like, I still like it. It's still a good movie, but it just doesn't stand out to me the same way other ones do. Like But yeah, I wanna marathon all the Terminators at some point.
I mean, a marathon I've been wanting to do, and yeah, this is also because of the fact that the Star Wars 9's coming out. But
yeah, man,
I've been wanting to do this for a while. Is all of the Star Wars, including the prequels, which I hate, but I'm still gonna watch them to suck it up.
I'm curious about that. How much? Because I have a love-hate relationship with the prequels. I think they
hate relationship.
You really hate them that much?
I hate the prequels, man. Like,
no way, really?
I have friends who are like, like arduous supporters of the prequels who are like, man, but they're so cool and stuff. And then they show me scenes of them. And God damn, I mean, it's so bad.
That's the worst, when someone's like, no. Like, here's a redeeming factor of this, and then they show you something shitty.
It makes it worse. But you know what? But honestly, I mean, I also widely dislike it just because of the memory I have of them, and I saw them a really long time ago, so I think it would be a good idea for me to see them again.
I was super into lightsabers and shit when I saw them, so I kind of loved them as a kid. I will say this, no, but honestly, in terms of where I stand, I'm kind of neutral about the prequels. I don't think they're good movies, but I think they have redeeming qualities, like the lightsaber fights mainly. But I think,
What? Wait, is that your point? The redeeming factors of the lightsaber?
No. Fuck off. But I thought it had its moments. I thought there were some cool design choices.
Yeah, it had its shitty moments. Like, oh, let's try spinning. That's a good trick. Bro,
wait.
Do you not remember that? I will never forget that scene as the single worst scene in cinema history.
Wait. Which scene specifically?
You know what? I can't tell you specifically, but basically it's in the first one, I think.
Let's try spinning.
Anakin, and he's doing like the pod racing or whatever. Now that's pod
Oh
racing.
God,
that whole thing. And at one point he's like being. Oh no, you know what? It's afterwards, but he's like learned from pod racing and stuff. So he's like flying the spaceship.
Yeah.
And then these dudes are shooting at him, and he's about to get killed, and he's like, you know what, let's try spinning. And then he fucking spins his ship, and then he like freaks out because it's spinning, but you're the one who made it spin, bro.
That is the worst moment in cinema history, Jules.
I believe that. Yeah, you know what, that tops The Room, that tops Troll 2, that tops Birdemic for me.
I cannot believe we watched Jules and I and some other people a few months ago went on this expansive trip around Europe, and on that trip we watched both Troll 2 and Birdemic.
Did you say expensive trip?
I said expansive.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say we did 25 hours of train to save money. I don't think I'd call it an expensive trip.
Yeah. Yeah, but but the prequels. Okay, look, I thought Jango Fett. I thought about him. He's
You
cool.
thought about him, and then I forgot about him.
No, I like Jango Fett. He's
a
like
forgettable ass character.
no, he's like Boba Fett, but he actually does things. Honestly, he does more He does more stuff in that movie than Boba Fett does in 5 and 6.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't really argue that because I really haven't seen them. I haven't seen them for a really long time.
That's fair.
But I just remember having a really horrible memory of them. But I do definitely have to watch them again to make sure.
My dad has a weird habit of being able to do really good impressions of specifically Phantom Menace characters, where he does a really good impression of Boss Nass, the like lead gun, like the "Weezer no like the Naboo," like that guy.
Oh yeah, that fucking guy.
He does that, and he does like the lip flap, the thing. He does that perfectly, and he also does the kind of iffy Jewish stereotype character Watto, like let's roll my chins.
I don't remember this.
He's the guy that owns Anakin. The dude with the snout and the wings, like, it's my chins cube.
Oh yeah, that fucking thing. Oh no, I never thought about the whole Jewish thing. Oh fuck, that's not good.
Dude, I mean, that wasn't even the worst I mean, there was that, right? And then there were the fucking Asian alien guy, Newt Gunray. I remember it was his name.
What? Oh, I don't remember this either.
The trade minister guys at the beginning, they're like, "This is getting out of hand." Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Jesus.
I don't think George Lucas is racist. I think those are more. My dad's made this point as well. Is that those characters are more archetypes than stereotypes in terms of they're just the kind of tight grasped general and the store owner. But like the voices and attributes don't look great.
I mean, they're kind of based on stereotypes. Originally.
Yeah. Of course,
It's kind of like the German supervillain and all of those Bond films and stuff is kind of based on the Nazi stereotype.
That's true.
Originally.
Yeah, of course. I'm by no means saying it's okay, but I don't know.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't think it's based in like a negative place.
Yeah, for sure. But how hyped are you for the new one? Because I'm certainly pretty fucking hyped.
I have mixed feelings, so I haven't really. I want to get hyped, I really do, but it's just, it's been a while since I've kind of really been passionate for Star Wars, because let me describe to you my experience with, what does this qualify as? What would we call this trilogy? The sequels trilogy?
Yeah, I just call it 7, 8, 9, to be honest.
Okay, in terms of 7, 8, 9, right? So, Force Awakens, I was incredibly hyped. I remember when that came out. I remember cheering with the crowd when the logo came on screen so distinctly. It was an amazing experience, and I fucking loved it. Last Jedi came out. I was really looking forward to that as well, and I ultimately had mixed feelings about it. I thought it was really.
I thought you were gonna say, and I fucking hate
No.
it.
Actually, I want to emphasize that I had mixed feelings because I thought it had some kind of qualities that brought it down significantly, and then I thought there were ones that were really good. Like, it had some really cool art choices.
Yeah.
I might be alone in this, but I thought Mark Hamill's performance was really good.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Yeah, I think the thing about the number 8 is that, like, I think I'm kind of like you. I do have mixed feelings, and when coming right out of it, I kind of have mixed feelings, and then forgetting a little bit about it, you sort of forget the bad scenes, like the whole casino world.
Yeah, that was
really badly designed and stuff. But you remember the really fucking cool scenes.
Yeah.
Like the final scene in the desert, and the light speed into the destroyer scene.
Oh fuck! I'd forgotten about that scene. Was amazing.
Yeah, and so for a while, I was actually pretty strongly for number 8. But then I do have to say, I saw scenes of it again, and I was like, that's true. There were pretty shitty parts.
I will say this: I've seen Force Awakens a number of times, but I've only seen Last Jedi once.
Oh yeah, I've only seen both of them once. Yeah, actually no, I've seen Force Awakens twice. Sorry.
I want to marathon them so I can see Last Jedi again and get a feeling for it, but it won't be too long now until. Fuck, man, I don't know if I'll have time to do that at all.
Yeah, I was wondering as well, but I'm definitely gonna try.
It's 2 weeks, so I don't know if that's enough time to. When you say marathon all of them, do you mean all 8 movies and like the in-betweens like Rogue One and Solo?
No, I just mean all 8.
Oh.
I can't really.
What do you think about Rogue One? Because I actually loved Rogue One and I liked Solo.
I was okay with Rogue One. I honestly, for Rogue One, it's kind of the opposite. I remember only the shitty scenes.
Oh, rip.
And then I watch parts of it. I'm like, you know what? That was pretty fucking cool. Like, you know what? That last scene with the AT-ATs in the palm trees, like on the beach.
Yeah.
That's like the craziest fucking scene. And I didn't really like Solo. Just to finish up on it.
What I thought was cool about Rogue One was that it did not feel like a Star Wars movie at all. Like, it really felt much grittier than any of the other movies. And I thought that was a unique spin. I don't think I would have been happy.
I'm not sure about gritty, though. I'm really not sure about gritty, because I thought there was, like, a surprising amount of, like, super cheesy Hollywood moments in that movie. You know? Like, kind of excessively so. I don't know, but you know how I feel about Marvel movies and shit. I'm kind of an asshole about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. But, I guess there were also those moments in the 7 and 8.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know. I guess because it's Star Wars, I was more lenient.
Back to my point about 8, though, what I was going to say is that I have mixed feelings about it. I thought there were things that brought it down. I thought there were redeeming moments. I was like, you know what? Overall, I'd say it's like a solid 7 out of 10. It's not amazing, but it's not bad. I thought it was pretty good. What I did not know was that the internet fucking hates Last Jedi. Oh my god.
Yeah, my friends who love the prequels also have to hate Last Jedi.
What? Okay, no. I will say this. Prequels, look, have redeeming qualities, but they're still not great. If you say that the prequels are better than Last Jedi, you are wrong.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, and you should say this too. Well, you met Robbie, right?
I have met Robbie, yes.
Yeah, he's like the actual stereotype of the guy who avidly defends the prequels and then hates Last Jedi.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I mean, is it to the level of like The Last Jedi was a complete cinematic failure and it should be struck from the Star Wars canon? Really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
It's to that level. No, what he does cut a little bit of slack on is that he does admit that he sort of likes the prequels for the hype. Like, not just because they're good movies, but...
Wait, what do you mean hype? Because, I mean, I feel...
And then I ask him, what hype do you know? I guess, for the pleasure of contradicting people who have good taste, I guess.
Wait, remind me, how old is Robbie?
Our age? I think he's probably...
Oh, yeah, you gotta love the hype of Phantom Menace one year before most of us were born. What fucking hype?
I think by hype he means, like, you know, the edginess of liking the prequels. He's kind of like that. I don't know. That's not
hype, though. That's not what hype means.
He calls it a hype, Jack. You can confront him about this.
Okay, maybe I will. But I'm really... Yeah, I thought it was good. I honestly wasn't expecting people to be as pissed about this as they was. One thing I will say, like, I'm not saying I 100% agree on, but I can see why people would be pissed about it, was the thing with Carrie Fisher in terms of how they used her character in it. Because there's that scene where she is, like, blown out into space.
Yeah, and then fucking, like, gods herself back into the ship.
Gods herself. That's a pretty accurate representation.
Yeah,
it is very
really
Jesus-y, isn't it?
It wasn't really my thing.
Me neither. Like, I can understand why people would be mad about it, I think it's more... The reason I say I understand is because now she's dead, and, you know, it's going to be... Going forward, it's definitely going to be difficult to see how they handle her. And seeing as really some scenes were CG'd, it's going to be weird as this last movie is kind of... I don't know exactly how to say it, but I feel as if...
Yeah, the thing is, and I was wondering about this, like, it's one thing to make a CG actor, you know, to just recreate a CG actor, have him say a few lines, you know, like they did in, they did it in Rogue One. And, but having a recreated CGI actor have a death scene is going to be really fucking weird. So it'll be, because I was thinking, like, so Princess Leia's death scene is not going to be acted by Carrie Fisher.
Yeah, that does feel wrong.
Some other random chick, and then they're going to have her face planted on her. Like, it feels really odd.
Oh, for a second, I got confused by that when you said, and have her face planted on it. I thought that you were describing how she was going to die. She's going to face plant.
Oh, I thought you were going to say, like, no, they're going to take, like, oh, Jesus, I'm going to say something horrible. Like, they're going to take, like, Carrie Fisher's skin off of her
No,
cadaver's face, and they're gonna put it on the actress.
No, what I was thinking was, when you said face planted, I was thinking, like, that's how she's gonna die. She's just gonna face plant onto some... That's how we kill off one of the most iconic characters in cinema. Just, oops.
Whoops. Oh, fuck, she's dead.
Just that reaction. Oh, fuck. Oh, no, that's...
Well, I guess this is a good note to
end it on. Can I just say one last thing?
Please.
What I will say is I kind of did a 180 mentally. Like, I understand why, people are angry that, Carrie Fisher was treated poorly in Last Jedi because it was her last actual movie that she was going to be in. But, they didn't know that,
Yeah, right.
Like, that's not on them.
True. That's true. That's definitely true.
That seems like such a weird thing to, like, how dare you treat this actress's final movie that no one knew because she died super suddenly,
Yeah.
It just that feels wrong, like, in terms of reacting to something like that.
For sure. Yeah.
Well, yeah, you're right. Her Princess Leia dying by face planting is probably a great note to end this on.
Star Wars 2020, Princess Leia dies by face plant.
Oh man,
looking forward to watching.
Rise of Skywalker is going to be great. You know what? I will say this: I am ultimately looking forward to it. I will. I was telling you
I think
about.
You're right. I guess I'm not as hyped as the first one, but it's still going to be pretty awesome.
I was telling you about this beforehand, but I feel as if for the next episode, Rise of Skywalker comes out around the same time as Cats does, and I feel as if the whole next episode should be dedicated to those two movies.
yeah, or just only Cats.
only Cats, and then we spend the last 5 minutes on Rise of Skywalker.
Oh, by the way, you know that movie? Yeah.
That Star Wars movie or whatever.
Yeah, it was alright.
It was good. Lol, ends episode. I'm... Absolutely. Okay, can we actually make a promise to, like, see Cats when it comes out?
Yeah.
I mean, separately, of course, because I don't really feel like buying plane tickets to see you.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Final...
I think I should end this reading a poem by Edgar Allan Poe. Hold on. You know what? I'm going to read The Raven, because that is truly his greatest of all...
Didn't know you were that fond of poetry.
Once upon a midnight dreary, while I pondered weak and weary over many a quaint and curious volume of forgotten lore, while I nodded nearly napping, suddenly there came a tapping, as of one gently rapping. Wait, what? I never read this out loud. Is this raping or no? It's rapping. Okay.
Oh my God, Jules.